A lot of people think that AI is going to replace real estate agents. But the truth is that the agents who utilize AI to their advantage to enhance the human element, not replace it, are going to be the ones that thrive in the years to come. So in this video, I'm going to share with you exactly how I'm using AI to create more content in less time so that I can build a stronger personal connection with more people than ever before. And you're going to want to stick around to the end of this video because I'm going to share the exact prompts that I'm using, which you can copy and paste into ChatGPT today. And in this video, I'm going to share what the right way is versus the wrong way to use AI, how I'm using it in my business, and the exact tools and prompts that you need to take and run with today. So without further ado, let's jump right into the content. So starting with the wrong approach, and what I see a lot of people doing incorrectly, actually probably more often than not, I see agents trying to replace the human element. They're automating their content, their touch points. It feels all robotic, disconnected, way too generic, and that does not resonate with anyone. In fact, the more people in the marketplace are doing that, the less of a personal connection those agents who are using AI in the wrong way are going to be building with people in their target market. So what you want to do is you want to have the right approach. What is the right approach? It's one that enhances the human element. It's going to allow you to take less time on the repetitive tasks that you have to do over and over again, and to buy back more of your time leveraging the right AI tools and resources to spend more of your own time on creativity and spending time on the human element. So you want to spend and maximize your time doing the creative work and that human to human work, not the back office task that are repetitive, mundane, that don't involve any creativity or any human to human connection. So the more you can use AI to take those things off your plate, the more time you're going to have on the work that really does move the needle. And the crazy part is it actually makes my content sound more like me when I'm leveraging these tools in the right way, not less like me. So let me explain how and the tools I use and how they are working for me at this point. Now, mind you, I'm a baby in terms of AI, and I know on some level almost everyone is at this point just because it's such a new technology and it's really taking the world by storm in a big way. But me, I haven't really started diving into it until more recently, literally the past few months, and especially over the last month. But what I've learned to do, someone who is a massive agent taught me this, was to really teach it to speak and think and write in my own voice. So what I did is I created a custom GPT and I call it my voice. But what I did is I fed it everything I've ever written, and now it writes exactly like me in my style because it committed that to memory. So I put in all the posts I ever made on social media, a lot of other content that I had created and produced, stuff that took me hours and hours on end, probably hundreds, if not over 1,000 hours of my creative work. I pumped it in to this platform with the goal of training it to communicate the way that I do. And so what that allows me to do is it helps me to cut out wasted time editing written content that I produce, because I can pump in any ideas. I can literally mind dump raw ideas, and this leads to, okay, how am I practically using it? There's really three key avenues at this point in time for me. It's email, Instagram, or other words, social media, and then YouTube content. So here's how I'm using it up to this point, and I'm probably gonna build upon it here in the time ahead. So with email, it gives me the ability to mind dump the raw ideas I have, and ChatGPT will help me organize them into a polished written copy. So I can take notes I have, a concept I have, I can put the key aspects of it together just like I normally would if I were writing something, but now I don't got to refine every single sentence of it myself. I can take the ideas, I can tell it what I'm thinking as far as communicating, and I can ask it to help me communicate that exact message in the same way that I would, based on how I've trained it in the way that I actually think and write and communicate. So doing that saves me time, and it helps me to come up with the same kind of message that I otherwise would have written had I put in hours to the task. And in the process, it saves time. Literally can mind dump with the click of a button, pull the ideas together, but it's still in my voice and it is in my communication style, and it is the message that I intended to articulate, because I'm instructing it exactly what I want to convey, to who I want to convey it, what the purpose and point is of this message. So I'm able to feed it all the key raw ingredients into actually coming up with that end message in mind that I otherwise would have been working towards doing myself. The difference is using this tool correctly can make it possible to do that within minutes versus taking something that for me personally would otherwise take hours. And so that's email communication. And next is social media, Instagram. And mind you, this is coming from the frame of mind of someone who's super detailed oriented. I'm almost a perfectionist to a fault, because the danger in being too much a perfectionist is that you don't put something out if it's not perfect, and therefore you don't put it out. And fact is, imperfect plan executed will beat a perfect plan that's never put into play, especially when speed is a key factor as well. So you want to be able to put the right message into the market at the right time, and to do that time and time again. So you don't want to be too much a perfectionist that you're not putting the messages out on a consistent basis. So that's the biggest problem I've had up to this point. This technology and tool helps me eliminate that problem, because I am able to more clearly and perfectly articulate the message I'm wanting to articulate, but it's not having to take me as much time to actually do that. That's the key. So second way I'm using it and how these tools are working for me has to do with my social media presence and post. And I think I have a different approach than most people doing it who are doing it, I would say, the wrong way. Because personally, I'm not asking it to write my captions for me. Instead of what I do is I take the raw ideas I have. I might take a long form piece of content I already created. I might take something that was a story or experience or something I learned throughout the week, and I dump that into a note, and then I ask ChatGPT to help me make it into a concise message that would be suitable for a caption to my target audience. So the key thing here is it's not writing for me. I'm not asking it to come up with something. I'm giving it those raw ingredients and asking me to help refine it into a message that I would post on social media, since I've literally fed it hundreds and hundreds of things I've actually written. So when it fires something back, it sounds like something that I would have taken all the time to piece together myself. The difference is I'm saving myself the time of having to piece it together myself. It's like you having a personal assistant who thinks like you, speaks like you, writes like you, communicates like you, but literally knows every single thing that there is to know in the world, who you can ask to help you convey this message that you're wanting to convey, and then it's actually done. And best part is I get to proofread it. I can make decisions, tweaks, adjustments. I can decide, you know what, I don't really like the way we piece this together. Here's what I want to change about it. So at the end of the day, I'm not replacing my thinking. I'm using it to enhance my thinking to get more done in less time. More clearly communicate what I'm trying to achieve based on literally knowing everything. So it's like having that personal assistant that knows everything that you can bounce these ideas off of. That's the key thing I can't say enough. Don't have it create content for you. Don't have it write for you, but use it to take those raw ingredients that you're inputting to articulate the message that you're wanting to convey to your audience in a way that is true and authentic. Communication style, your voice, your tonality, and otherwise what you would want to communicate. Don't let it replace your thoughts and thinking. That's not the point. That's not how to utilize it to your biggest advantage. It's just helping me package my message the way I do it if I had unlimited time. That's the key right there. And then third piece is YouTube. So YouTube content, and this might be my favorite part about it, because YouTube really does take different steps. I mean, it's one thing writing a caption, it's another thing writing an email. It's a whole nother ball game when you're having to formulate a whole outline, titles, keywords, even the text for the thumbnail. All these things are very important. So what I'm using it for is to help me refine my outlines, build stronger hooks, and write more captivating thumbnails and titles. So it's stuff that otherwise I could and have in times past taken hours upon end researching keywords, because we all have the tools for that. We can use the keyword research tools, but instead AI helps me land on the best possible option quickly. So I don't even have to spend the time doing my own keyword research. I just have to give it the right inputs to get the desired goal out of it. But here's the real secret. The power isn't in the tool itself. It's in the prompt you give it. So let me dive into that some more. So AI is only as good as your inputs. Literally, if you put garbage in, you're gonna get garbage out of it. So my rule is that you wanna treat prompts like directions you would give to an employee or someone who's working for you. You wanna be clear, detailed, and outcome driven. I'm gonna show you examples of this by giving you the exact prompts I use and that you can go out and use as well. And this is where most people drop the ball, by the way, is they're just putting in a basic instruction or question. They're asking it to generate something for them, but they're not giving it any specific details or context. So they're getting a very generic result out of it, something that doesn't even resonate with people's audience more often than not, because it doesn't even sound or speak like them or relate to anything about what they're doing. So you want to be clear and specific. So let me give you an example. Email prompt. An email prompt that you could use is, let's say you have notes about a specific topic you've written about that you want to convey to people you want to work with in your market, people who are on your email list potentially. So you could say, take the following raw notes I've written about, and then you insert the topic, for example, buying your first home, prepping a house for sale, a local market update. So take the following raw notes I've written about this topic and turn them into a polished email written in my voice. And this is assuming you've trained it to write in your voice like I outlined prior. Make it clear, conversational, and approachable, like I'm talking directly to someone in my community. Keep it educational, but not stiff, and include a light call to action at the end for anyone who's thinking about buying or selling real estate locally. So that's an example of a prompt you could use. And I share that call to action part just as an example of an instruction you can give it. But honestly, I'm a big advocate of not being too salesy, and even more often than not even including a call to action in your written messages, including email. But I just want to share with you that you can prompt it if you want to add a call to action and something that compels people to want to respond, engage with you, or reach out to you for something that might apply to them. An example of what this looks like, that was the actual prompt, but an example is, an agent, if we go attend trainings, conferences, or anything, we're likely taking notes. So in this case, you can take your notes. You were taking notes on something you were learning about, why mortgage rates shouldn't be scaring everyone away. Well, you can take those notes and create a clean, engaging email that educates and builds trust with your target audience while inviting readers to actually reach out to you if they're curious about timing in the market or lining things up, based on their bigger goal. Now, an Instagram prompt, for example, to create a social media piece of content, if you wanted to get super detailed and get a very clear and specific outcome from it, an example of a prompt that you could use is something like this. Take this long form content idea, so insert your notes, a story from the week, or an insight you have on the local market. So take this long form content idea and turn it into a concise Instagram caption written in my voice and style. Make it short, easy to read, and scroll stopping. Use a hook in the first line, break up the text for readability, and make it sound like I'm talking to my followers one-on-one. Focus on building my personal brand as a trusted local expert while keeping it authentic and engaging. End with a simple question that invites comments or DMs. Again, similar to the email, that last piece, do you really need to do that? You don't. I'm gonna say don't put a call to action on every single post you make. In fact, it should be rare on a feed post that you're inviting people to take a step with you. Your content should be value driven. It should be a deposit you're making into those relationship bank accounts from the people consuming stuff in their feeds. But then an example outcome from that would be a long explanation about 3 things buyers overlooked when choosing a neighborhood, just as one topic idea. That can become a punchy caption with some key points, a strong opening line, and an engaging next step for people to drop their number one must-have in the comments. If you want to generate engagement, that's where that would come in. Now let's talk YouTube for video content, longer form stuff. You can prompt it to help you create an outline. So for example, help me create a YouTube outline for a video titled, insert your title. So whatever you want to shoot the video on, insert the title into the prompt here. So help me create a YouTube outline for a video titled this. And my audience is local buyers and sellers who want clarity about the market and confidence in working with me. Include a strong 10-second hook that addresses their biggest pain point or question. 3 to 5 clear, engaging sections that deliver value. Use cliffhangers between sections. Ideas for on-screen visuals such as stats, neighborhood shots, graphics, a final takeaway that positions me as the go-to local resource, and a compelling CTA or call to action. Use urgency and scarcity that invites them to connect with me directly if they're thinking about buying or selling real estate in insert your city. So an example of the outcome that this is intended to produce would be instead of like rambling on upon a market update, if you're just reading off your local MLS report and stats, you're gonna have a structured outline. You're gonna have a strong hook that gets people to pay attention from the get-go and helps you increase your audience retention and watch time. An example of that would be, is now a terrible time to buy a home in your city. Let's talk about the truth. And then you have different sections. You break it down. Section 1 could be current rates explained. Section 2 is the existing inventory challenge. And Section 3 is why buyers are still winning right now, despite everything. Your call to action at the end could be something like, hey, if you're in this city, wondering if the time is right for you, shoot me a message. I'll give you the numbers based on your specific situation and access to the different programs available to help you get into a home with less money out of your pocket, stuff like that. And so those are some examples of prompts. And my point, and I hope your biggest takeaway from that, it's not like, okay, copy and paste these. You could copy and paste these, and if you do, I think you'd be very pleased to see the outcome of it. But the bigger point is just seeing how detailed these prompts are and knowing that that's the way you get your desired output from AI, whether it's even coming up with ideas of what content to create. I don't use it as much for ideas as I do to piece together my existing ideas to convey it to my target audience and spend less time literally writing every detail out and more time actually creatively thinking and communicating with my target audience. And so if you use these tools for that purpose, instead of replacing yourself, you're gonna enhance your ability to have a bigger impact and to reach more people in less time to move the needle further in your business and life. So if this video gave you clarity on how to use AI to build your personal brand and real estate business in a more effective way, hit that subscribe button. And better yet, make sure that you get onto my email list. I'll include a link in the description below where you can hop on that, because I drop new strategies and tips every single week to help agents work smarter, not harder. So if you don't want to miss out on what I've got coming for you this upcoming week, go ahead and drop your email onto that link so I can send you what I've got coming down the pipeline. But that being said, go and put these prompts into play to make more of an impact on those that you're capable of reaching in the process. And until next time, I'll look forward to seeing you on the next video.